In a world where power does not simply exist but reacts, where reality itself responds to intention, Niccolò Machiavelli stands before a crown that refuses to be claimed, not because it cannot be taken, but because it chooses who is worthy of holding it, shifting slightly with every thought, every intention, as if it can sense the difference between desire and understanding, and in that moment, he realizes that true power is not something forced into your hands, it is something that aligns with you when your mind is prepared to carry its weight. He does not reach for it immediately, because he understands that rushing toward power often pushes it further away, and instead, he observes, allowing the crown to move, to test, to respond, knowing that patience reveals more than force ever could. As he walks forward, the ground beneath him begins to change, no longer a simple surface but something that remembers, every step leaving behind a faint glowing imprint, a trace that slowly fades but never fully disappears, reminding him that no action is ever truly lost, that every decision leaves behind consequences, visible or not, shaping the path behind him even as he moves forward. He studies these fading marks, understanding that while the past cannot be erased, it can be learned from, and that progress is not about forgetting what has been done, but about understanding it deeply enough to move beyond it. Ahead of him, he finds himself seated upon a throne unlike any other, not built from stone or gold, but formed from silent decisions, invisible yet heavy, each choice he has ever made contributing to its structure, each moment of action and hesitation forming the foundation beneath him. The throne feels stable, yet alive with meaning, reminding him that authority is not given, it is built over time through the accumulation of decisions, and that every choice carries weight far beyond the moment it is made. He sits without fear, because he understands that to deny responsibility is to deny power itself. He turns toward a mirror, expecting to see a single reflection, but instead, he is confronted with multiple versions of himself, each one existing at a different stage of life, younger, older, wiser, more ruthless, more cautious, all layered together as if time itself has collapsed into a single moment. Niccolò Machiavelli studies these versions carefully, recognizing that identity is not fixed, that who we are is constantly shifting, shaped by experience, by decision, by pressure, and that the person he becomes is not predetermined, but chosen through action. He does not reject any version, because he understands that every possibility exists within him, waiting for the right moment to emerge. As he steps away from the mirror, the path ahead transforms, becoming clearer, more focused, and with each step he takes, something unusual happens, the doubt behind him disappears, erased completely as if it never existed, leaving only certainty in his wake. He realizes that hesitation is often the greatest obstacle, and once a decision is made with clarity, doubt loses its power, because it can no longer influence what has already been set in motion. And so he continues forward, not without caution, but without hesitation. Above him, the sky begins to shift, clouds forming names and symbols that cannot be fully read, appearing only for a moment before vanishing again, as if the universe itself is revealing fragments of something greater, something not meant to be easily understood. He watches closely, knowing that meaning is not always obvious, that truth often appears in pieces, and that those who rush to conclusions miss what lies beneath the surface. He does not try to force understanding, because he knows that some knowledge reveals itself only to those who are patient enough to wait. Suddenly, the environment around him changes once more, and he finds himself seated upon a throne that reacts to his inner state, becoming unstable when fear begins to rise, shifting slightly beneath him, testing his control, his composure, his awareness. But he does not allow fear to take hold, because he understands that power is not just external, it is internal, and those who cannot control themselves can never truly control anything else. As his mind steadies, the throne stabilizes, responding to his calm, reinforcing the idea that authority is as much about inner mastery as it is about external influence. He rises and continues forward, finding a book in his hands, one that refuses to remain consistent, its pages changing, rewriting themselves with every moment, revealing different truths depending on perspective, as if knowledge itself is not fixed, but fluid, adapting to the mind that observes it. He reads without attachment, understanding that truth is often shaped by perception, and that wisdom comes not from clinging to a single idea, but from being able to see beyond it. In front of him, a door appears, simple yet overwhelming in its presence, and as he opens it, he does not step into another place, but into silence itself, a space where sound does not exist, where movement feels slower, heavier, more deliberate. It is not emptiness, but stillness, a kind of quiet that forces awareness, that removes distraction, leaving only thought, only presence. He stands within it, not uncomfortable, but aware, because in silence, clarity begins to emerge. And finally, he takes one last step forward, and with that step, reality itself begins to shift, subtly bending around him, as if his movement has altered something deeper, something fundamental, revealing that influence is not always loud or visible, but often quiet, subtle, and powerful in ways that are not immediately understood. And in that moment, Niccolò Machiavelli realizes the final truth, that power is not something you control directly, it is something you align with, something you understand, something you move within, and those who truly master it are not the ones who force reality to change, but the ones who understand how to change themselves in a way that allows reality to respond. And so he does not chase power, he does not resist it, he does not try to dominate it, he simply observes, adapts, and moves forward, because he understands that everything is connected, every thought, every action, every decision, shaping the world in ways that are not always visible, and those who survive, those who rise, those who endure, are not the ones who demand control, but the ones who understand the deeper structure of existence itself, and learn how to move within it without losing themselves along the way.